What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. In today's episode, I will be talking about 20 things that you can do this summer. I mean, for those of you who are in school, the summers can be kind of dead, but it's like supposed to be exciting, so you're trying to figure out what you should do. For those of us not in school but working full-time, you're probably like, you know what? All I do is go to work and go home, and I'm looking for something a little bit more fun to do. Well, I have got all of you guys covered, so let's get right into the video. So the first, most obvious and easiest thing for most people to do is to go swimming. If you live in a neighborhood or a place where you don't have access to a pool, then you can always call a hotel and say, hey, do you guys have your pool up for rent? A lot of them will actually rent out their pools to non-guests. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind as you are planning some summer activities this summer. The second thing is to try new ice cream shops. Specifically in Atlanta, I've been finding a lot of like frozen yogurt shops, a lot of ice cream shops, and some of them have very exotic flavors. The most recent one that I visited was a place called Jenny's, and if you look on my blog, morebrandiplease.com, you'll see they had cool flavors like, I think it was caramel popcorn or something like that. So just look for some cool ice cream shops. I always recommend using Yelp to try some new ice cream flavors. Don't really have to buy, but I mean, why not try it, right? Something fun to do. The third one I would say is to volunteer at the Humane Society. If you are not a fan of pets, then I mean you can still volunteer somewhere else, like a food bank, or find some place in your local area or in your community that you can volunteer and give your time to, whether it be planting or find something else that interests you. So I think that volunteering during the summer is such a great way to help someone else and then also feel good about yourself. You know, like you feel good because you help somebody else. So that's always awesome. The next one would be to binge watch Siesta Keys. For those of you who don't know, Siesta Keys comes on MTV. It is the most scenic like series I think I've ever seen. They're out in Florida and they have the most beautiful footage. I mean, it's like beaches and water and this and that, and the drama is so good. So I would say binge watch Siesta Keys if you have not seen it already, especially if you were at one point a fan of Laguna Beach or the Hills. You're gonna freaking love it. Like, it's so good. The next one would be to plan your 4th of July. I think that planning, even if I'm not buying, just really stimulates my mind. So if I'm putting together, oh, we need 5 plates for this and that, we, you know, looking up recipes and this barbecue this and this barbecue that, even if you're not able to actually do all of those things, it's still really fun to just plan it out as a hypothetical. So that's something that you can do with your time, and then just also be in the spirit of summer. The next one would be to try a new dessert recipes. I think it's fair to say that during the summer there's so much key lime pie, there's that berry thing with the flag that people make or whatever, I forget what it's called. They have strawberry shortcake. They have so many desserts. So try a new recipe at home, maybe some kind of cool summer dessert that you want to try, and that would be fun. Why not cook for a day? The next one I would say would be to go biking through a park. A lot of the more major parks have bikes for rent if you don't have a bike. So that's usually fun to kind of ride around, get some fresh air, get a bike trail maybe even, find some place that you've never really seen before. Take pictures, of course. Like, it's just a nice way to get out there and have a good time. The next one, I think, for a lot of people may be a little bit far-fetched, but it's canoeing or kayaking. Canoeing doesn't really have to be that far out. Most people have at least some kind of pond or lake. Even if it's not canoeing or kayaking, you can probably find an area where you can paddle boat. So you just do something like that or whatever. Even learning a new skill, basically, if you don't know how to do that, would be a lot of fun. I, for one, when I first got in a canoe, and I've only done it one time, it was so much fun. I can't wait to get back out there. But I learned how to do it in a swimming pool, and then we went out there on the river. It was just so relaxing, so much fun, and we had like birds and a lot of scenery, and it was just nice if you like nature like that. The next one I would say would be to go on a camping trip. You guys may have seen my videos. I kind of actually like camping, but even if you can't go on a camping trip, then watch my date night backyard camping video, and that's just a prime example of how you can kind of use what you have at home to create your own summer adventure. Okay. And the next one would be music festivals. If you've got that dough, then go to a music festival, concert, or something. They're happening all around the summertime. so much fun. Put on your good gear and go out there and just have a great time. Be safe, of course, and that's another option. The next one would be to go out to a farm and maybe a fruit farm. Pick out your own fruits, fresh fruits, and I think it's more exciting to see where it's grown and, you know, all the pretty fields and stuff. They also make for great pictures on Instagram. And even if you don't go to a fruit farm, you can always go to a flower farm. So sunflowers, lavenders, just Google it in your area. I think there's a website, it's called like Pick For You. I'll link it in the description box below, where you can find farms in your area that you can visit, or you can just Google it, I guess. I mean, most areas do have a farm of some type that you can go out, take pictures, have fun, and all that good stuff. The next one I would say is to stargaze. And if you live in a well-lit city, I would say head over to the nearest airport to watch the airplanes take off and land. That's also just as exciting as stargazing. It would be a little bit difficult for me to stargaze living in the city, so I would probably go to the airport to watch the planes take off and land. So that's something that's kind of fun to do, and yeah, keep that in mind. The next one would be to plan a photo shoot. So say for instance, you live in an area where there's a nice farm, flower farm like I mentioned before, or there's like great architecture or something like that. Go out and take some pictures, freshen up your Instagram, why not? Just spend the day and have a good time with your friends, get all dressed up, go out there and have a good time. Next one would be to attend a baseball game. I think that baseball games are such a fun American pastime, and if you go out there and use Game Time, by the way. If you use Game Time, I think there's a $4 service fee on each ticket, unfortunately, but it's designed for millennials to be able to have access to tickets to games and basically have like pretty good seats. Like I've seen some ground floor tickets that are like $90 something, and if you were to go through a more major or official site, that would easily be $300 to $400 for those ground level seats. So that's something to pay attention to. See what's out there and go to a baseball game, have a good time. And the next one would be to have a water balloon fight. So say, you know, you and your friends have absolutely nothing to do. They have those cool things where you can water or load them all up with the water at one time. And you can just have a nice water balloon fight. Childish, but sometimes those child games you used to play are even more fun as an adult. So just saying, just saying. The next one would be to paint or draw your favorite summer scene. If you have the money, I'll always suggest going to like Painting with a Twist or Dip and Dab, which they have those on Groupon, and they always have it where they'll show you what paintings they're making for that night. So that's really exciting if you find one that you like, and or if not, you can always find a YouTube tutorial on how to paint a water scene or a pool scene or beach ball or whatever, just to be in the spirit and get those creative juices flowing. The next one would be to read a book in a hammock. If you don't have a hammock, then a Chase Lounge chair would do. Keep in mind, I did say that hotels do offer their pools for rent. So if you don't have any of that stuff, you can go get a pass at some kind of swimming pool, lay in one of those lounge chairs and read a good book. I will list some of my favorite summer books that I like to read. They are from the teen section. Don't judge me, but they're good. They're good books. I love them. And then the next one would be to go to an amusement park or an arcade. I think if you can get a season pass somewhere, that's the best thing to do. Just keep going and going and going and going and going. And it keeps like your summer exciting. It's the same thing over and over again, but I don't think that stuff ever really gets old. The adrenaline rush from roller coasters, or, you know, trying to see how many tickets you can get. Maybe you can save up and get that big teddy bear that you really, really want, or whatever the case may be. It's just a good time to just kind of relax, have a good time, and do your thing. And if you don't have an amusement park, or if you want to take it up a notch, go to a water park. I think that water parks are even more fun than amusement parks because you get to be out in the water, and I for one like to be out in the water during the summer. Well, this brings me to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment below. Let me know what your favorite summer activities are if they were not listed on this top 20, or which ones are the top 20 you think you want to give a try. I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. Bye.